Hi, everybody. Welcome back to episode 3 of Beating the Odds, the lighter side of stroke survival. And that word light is what we want to focus on today. We want to keep it light because we don't want to drag you down. We want you to feel good when you spend time with us. So we're starting with that. And as promised, the question of the day today, I have to go back to my notes 1 second, Tracy.
Mm-hmm.
So my question for today is, what is one thing that you can do now that you couldn't do in the beginning right after your aneurysm?
Okay. Do you want to answer first?
You want me to? No, I threw it to you. I asked. If you have me ask, then you have to answer.
Great at this recording thing. What I couldn't do then was...
Just one thing, not all of it, just one thing.
Yeah, I'm thinking definitely driving. I couldn't drive for over 2 years. And then once I started, because I just wasn't comfortable, I could only drive when the weather was good and during the day. I couldn't drive in bad weather. And it's because, I guess, processing, I couldn't really see well. So that was huge for me. I felt trapped when I couldn't really take me places. And so I was so happy when I could drive. Okay, Bren, what about you? What could you do now?
Well, this right here is something that I couldn't have dreamed of doing for lots of reasons. But, there was one thing that Jay said probably about 3 or 4 months after I had my stroke, which is we're in the phase of years for inches. Because, there's so much growth and neuroplasticity and happening in those first few months, then it kind of screeches to a halt. But if you keep working, there's still progress to be made. So for me, anything other than a coma is improvement.
See, that's where we differ. I never went into a coma.
Yeah.
And how long were you in your coma?
I was in a coma. This is where we need to bring Jay on, but I think it was about a week.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Could be 6 days, could be 8, but it was right around in there.
Right.
But I would say even something as simple as sitting up on the side of my bed or sitting up in a chair right here. There was a point where I couldn't even sit up on the side of the bed in the hospital.
Just because you had no strength.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
So, I spend a lot of my day thinking about all of the freaking miracles of doing things like being able to sit up or...
Yeah.
Yes, I have to use my walker and I get really annoyed and really angry at it, but it's also, that is something I couldn't do, right? I was having to be in the bed or in the jerry chair or in a wheelchair or in the medical walker, so
yeah,
that's progress. There's lots of progress.
That's huge.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my gosh, I can't even imagine. Somehow I didn't go into a coma, thank God. And I was very weak though. I remember not being able to roll over, from my back to my side, and I would need help. And I had this one aide. His name was Will. I'll never forget him. When I was in ICU, I couldn't leave the bed because I still had that burr hole with the drain.
Right.
So I wasn't able to get out of the bed yet. But oh my gosh, when I was uncomfortable, I would ring the bell and I would just call for Will. I think he was 6'2", and he was so sweet. And he was the only one that could kind of maneuver me and roll me over or pull me up because I kept sliding. Did you keep sliding in the bed?
That's not something I remember. There's lots of other things, but I don't remember that.
One time they found me. I don't know why I would slide, but I guess when I was upright, all of a sudden I would start, and the tube was still attached. And one time they found me with my legs hanging off, my knees, and I was stuck.
You clearly wanted to get out of bed.
Somebody help. And I remember Will going by it because I couldn't even turn my head. And I'm like, Will. I didn't even know if he was on duty or not.
Somebody.
And he came in and he said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I didn't do it, I swear." So he was able to grab me under my arms and pull me all the way up. But I don't know how that drain didn't pop out of my head. I was dangling off of the bed.
Wow.
How does that stuff happen? Yeah, but that was huge when I couldn't get out of the bed and I was in ICU for about 8 days. That was so frustrating because they hadn't yet taken that tube out. And that tube, for people that don't know, when you have a rupture or a stroke, a hemorrhagic, the blood is built up in your brain and it's putting pressure on your brain. So they have to immediately take that pressure off. So they literally take a drill, and I watched the video on this, that you would use as a tool in your garage. And they drill, mine was right here, and they literally drill a hole through your cranium, and they insert this tube, probably like this thick, I think it was. And it immediately, because it's all like suction, it's all like pressure. So it immediately pulls out all the blood and the spinal fluid that builds up, because the damage done to our brains, like, put that all out of whack.
Right.
So
Right.
that drain was in me anyway, for a good at least 6 days, I think. Do you remember the drain?
Well, they ended up having to put a shunt in me because I couldn't absorb the cerebral spinal fluid.
Yes, I did too. Yeah.
So it's still in me, and I have to say I can feel the tube right here,
Yeah,
which is
me too.
it's
Right
so
here.
weird.
I think
It's so
people think
weird.
that's a vein. It's
Yeah,
not. It's the
yeah,
tube for
it's
the.
so weird. But anyways,
Oh,
but yeah, it's and I just to go back to our question about things that you can do now that you couldn't do then. There was, I know for me, and I think a lot of people have this idea that there is a window in which, when the window closes, no progress can happen.
yeah.
I
That was
believe
true.
that. But you know what? And a ton of progress does happen in those first 3 months, first
Mm-hmm.
3 to 6 months, but doesn't mean progress stops. But you have to maybe put in more effort and have much more patience and determination, but
Yeah.
progress can continue to happen.
Yeah.
So there are definitely things that I couldn't do 6 years ago when it first happened, but there are even things now that I couldn't do 6 months ago. But because I continue to work at it, I mean, it is incremental, but I notice the changes.
Absolutely.
And I think that that would be what I would encourage anybody, whether you are a survivor or a loved one of a survivor, is to look for those positive changes. Look for those things
Those
that you
little
couldn't
wins.
do. Absolutely, absolutely, because they're there. And whatever you look for, you're going to find.
Absolutely. And you keep looking for those, like you said, and acknowledge them and celebrate your little wins, because they come sometimes few and far between. And when something happens, you can be like, oh my gosh, I couldn't do that last week. And
That's
sometimes you
right.
don't do the bleed. So, yeah, I definitely agree with that. I'm trying to think of what else I couldn't do. Oh, my balance was so bad. My vision was messed up. My peripheral vision on my left was gone. It's back now to some degree,
Okay.
but I only have it in the bottom left quadrant. I don't have it up here. So that was one of the reasons too that I didn't drive, because I couldn't see everything. So that started to improve like 2.5 years later, like you said. And I was always told, if you don't get it back within the first year, you can consider it, this is how it's going to be forever. And, I
But
was
you can't believe those things because those things could be so discouraging.
absolutely, yeah. And I had one doctor, it depends on who you get.
Sure.
I have another funny story. When I was first home, when I first was being released, I was brought over to a local hospital near our house on Long Island for rehab. And that's where I was practicing the steps. And I was, they would have me in OT, and that's, the fine motor skills. My left hand, that was in a fist. I'm like, what do you want me to do with this fist? Like, it's not
Right,
going to
right.
open and pick some. But occupational therapy was more about doing things now, like practicing opening up a jar, or, how are you going to open the door if you have something in your hands. And now I'm a pro at it, because I make sure I put a bag on my arm, and they call me the bag lady because it has to have a handle, and then I can do it. But I remember in OT, they wouldn't let, it was like 6 or 7 days, and they wouldn't let my sister bring me home until there were things delivered to the house. So it was the raised toilet seat, it was the shower bench, and she didn't have a banister on her stairs. It's a split level, so you walk in, you have to go either up or down. And for some reason, we had built a temporary wall, so there wasn't a fixed banister. So we had to wait until those things were delivered, and that Bobby, my brother-in-law, put up that banister before they would release me. So they did, and I came home. I think I was only in rehab like 7 days. I just wanted to get out of there. But yeah, everything was delivered and I could leave. But when I got home, the therapy had to continue. Now, I was in the dead of winter. It was, I hate to use that term, the dead of winter, but it was in the middle of winter. And they didn't want me leaving the house because it was snowy and icy. It was a real bad winter that year. And they had to set up, the in-home care. So they had to send in an occupational therapist and a physical therapist. So I remember it was probably at least a week or two later, the occupational therapist came. Now this lady, she was pregnant, like close to due date. She had to be. So she was cranky and she comes up, I remember her coming up the stairs, and then I was kind of like making my way down the hallway, the shuffle and holding on to the wall. And I said hi to her, and I was, somewhat had my personality. And I was like, hi, thanks for coming. And she goes, okay, so what can you do with that hand? And it was like this. And I said, I can do this. And she looked at me and she said, well, I don't know what you expect me to do, but I can't do anything with you until you can open your hand. I was so taken aback. I was like, are you kidding me? Isn't that your job? I just looked at my sister. She looked at me and I was like, this lady's just got to leave. Like, that was the end. I said, all right, we'll let you know when it opens.
And you still haven't called her?
No, never called her. And since she probably had that baby like that day when she left my house, she was ready to drop. But yeah, I remember that. So I still can't open the hand, but I do get death sport injections. And now it's opened, but my fingers are going up. And
Okay.
I have to go back next week for another set of injections because you can get them every 3 months. And I was so thankful that it opened.
And the injections just relax it?
Yeah, it's to relax the spasticity. So I even have it in my ankle and foot. So I have drop foot and I trip so many times. So I had to get an AFO.
I do not have any spasticity or drop foot, but I have other things that you don't have. So
oh yeah.
We cover the whole gamut between the two of us.
Between the two of us? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So now you've come so far and now you use your walker and it's difficult. Is it retraining yourself to walk again?
It's I would say at the top, probably the same for you. My top challenge is energy.
Yeah.
And I will never forget being in the hospital and my new friend Leah, who I hope will come on one day, she had an aneurysm as well. She would come in with her dog, at the time Carlo, to visit patients. And I will never forget her sitting next to me one day saying, the energy, you're not going to understand. It's not like nothing you've ever experienced.
No, neural fatigue.
And I have to say, it was so comforting and soothing to me to know, like you said I think the first or second time, Trace, that feeling of like, am I the only one? Am I alone in this? Not that you want anyone else to feel it, but somehow it feels comforting to know that there is someone else, one other person out there that does get it.
Right. And you're not being lazy, and there's a reason why.
Right.
You're exhausted after a couple of simple tasks.
We start, for anybody watching, we start already way behind the 8 ball with energy, and then anything we do takes so unbelievable amount more energy to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like you said, the simplest tasks, it'll be like, okay, I just went to the bathroom, or I just took a shower.
Oh gosh, I needed a nap.
Exactly. And unfortunately, even a nap isn't going to necessarily fix it.
That's right.
It'll just maybe give you a little bit more energy. My problem is I would get a little more energy and then I just spend it again. So I wasn't good at saving. I don't think I'm good at saving money either, but energy I'm definitely not good at. So anyways, but hopefully that is something that not only survivors can feel confident to know that they're not alone in that, but any loved ones and caregivers can understand that, like you said, Trey, they're not being lazy. It's so bloody hard for them to do the things that they maybe you saw them beforehand do with the ease,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And
Yeah.
it's a tough thing to come to terms with, but it's a reality we
Yeah.
need to face.
It's frustrating for the caregivers. Like, why can't you just do this? You used to
Right.
do it all the time. Like,
Exactly, exactly.
I still can't go down steps 1, 2, 1, 2. Like, I
Right.
used to fly
Alternate, yeah.
downstairs.
Yeah, yeah.
I still go down 1 foot at a
Yeah.
time, and it
Right,
just
right.
never came back, and if I go to do it the other way, I feel like I'm gonna fall, so I just don't do it. But yeah, caregivers, it's so rough. They just want you to be who you used to be and be like you used to be and be normal. But there is no normal. Now it's the new you. And, yes, you make progress all the time. Little by little, you get further and further. Almost 21 years for me, and I'm still just starting to do things, but it more or less has halted for me. Now it's just more of getting my weight down and getting my knees fixed and things like that. And I think it would be easier. I forgot where I was going with that. See? You lose your train of thought.
Right. But that could be your ABI, but it could also just be getting older, right? So
Yeah,
who
that's what people
knows?
told me too. Tell me, did this frustrate you? I would be like, say we had a family get together or some kind of barbecue or something, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe how forgetful I'm being. And then someone would turn around and be like, oh my God, me too. Like someone who has never been through this. Or I'd
Right.
say, oh, this headache is killing me today. And because I have a shunt too, it's pressure changes and things like that, change in the weather, it affects me more. And then someone would say to me, oh my God, my allergies are killing me, my sinuses, oh, the pressure. And I'm like, no, it's not the same as a pressure headache. And I would describe it as someone pushing down on the top of your head. And I get it. It's strange for me, but I get it like day before we're supposed to get rain or snow. It's never during. Do you get that?
You need to work at the weather station.
Yes. Yeah. You?
The headaches or the people saying things, or both? Which you're asking?
Yeah, it's basically do you get the pressure?
Do I get the pressure? Well, I think what's been very interesting with me, because I had said to you initially, I was always a very, very headachy person.
Yeah.
I had headaches for all kinds of reasons. And strangely enough, maybe it's because they took a piece of my skull out and then replaced it.
That's huge. Oh my gosh.
But I really don't have headaches even nearly what I used to.
Right.
And
Oh,
I
me
don't know if
neither.
it's because I have room. Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who knows? But I'm also much more. I used to ignore the pain. That would now I would call it like an 8 out of 10. But now if I get to a 2, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna watch this. If it's still a 2 in an hour, then I'm gonna say something to Jay. Gotta escalate it a little faster.
Right. Absolutely.
Because I used to ignore things all the time, which I really, really encourage. There's so many lessons that I've learned that I wish the BS, the before stroke part of me, knew beforehand. And so, like, if someone says they're tired, I'm like, you know what? Go rest, because I never did.
No, you were.
Or if they say that they have reached a limit, I'm like, okay, so stop.
Yeah.
Because I never did. And I kind of like, I feel thankful that I am justified in resting now, but I wish that I didn't have to feel justified. I wish that I would have rested beforehand. And so anyone now who needs to rest, I am so encouraging. Please rest. Please
Absolutely.
rest.
That goes back to listening to your body.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely. It all connects together.
It all is
Absolutely.
connected, definitely. So when the same with you is when it first happened, I think I had a headache every day for like the first, it feels like a year. And then now I very rarely get headaches, and it's usually because I've overdone it or I'm light sensitive now. So if the kids are playing around with even like flashlights and they're flashing lights or whatever, or we have a little light for the dog to make her run around, I can't look at it straight on.
Right.
It will trigger a headache.
Right.
So in that respect, that's another thing now that I could go a whole day without a headache, and several days now.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
But
And
yeah,
those are the celebrations you need to have.
yes,
So definitely what I'm hearing from you is to be patient too, because things that you couldn't imagine you would experience in a week or a month or a year, be patient because it might be coming. You have
yeah,
to hang in there.
yeah. You don't know, and you have to be determined. And there's days that you're just gonna feel like giving up, right? And I definitely have those days. I had them, but some days are just not good brain days, I used to say. And I didn't do much at all. But the next day, I tried to do something a little more than I did before. So that's huge. Like, to encourage people to listen to your body, and it's okay if one day, you don't feel like you can do that exercise or, do that PT, but the next time you will. You will.
Right.
So, I mean, we have so many stories like that, Bren, between the two of us. We have 26 years of expertise in this. But the next conversation I want to have with you in a later episode is the emotions you go through um, when you come to realize that this is what it is now. Even though you make those little have those little wins, that this is you now, the new you. And I said it probably happened. I had to mourn the old me, the way life used to be. And I really had to come to accept the new me, as different as I was, with the limitations I have now, and all the things that have changed. So that's another whole episode. So I'm not going to start it here.
Okay.
Do
Okay.
you want to wrap this episode up with a tip of the day?
Okay. Let me look at my notes here.
Yeah, you're good. I don't
Let's
keep
see
any
here.
notes.
Okay. Let's see. Yeah, this is a good one. So I have this little, I guess I love to be in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you do too, Jace. But I have this little mini chopper, which instead of using the knives, because for me, energy, but also balance, coordination, fluidity, like chopping something finely is not easy for me. But this mini chopper is a game changer. A game changer. Because you can put things
Yes.
in, you just, like suddenly you have chopped parsley, chopped onions, seasoning. So
It's
that
amazing.
would be my tip for the day is a mini chopper. And that's not just for stroke survivors. I would say that's
It's
a
for
great
anybody.
thing for anybody. Exactly. If you like to be in the
I
kitchen,
have that
mini
chopper that you have the blades on the top, and you put the onion or whatever, and then you slam down on the
Okay.
top of it,
So
and
you
it
can get your
pushes.
aggression out.
Yes, yeah. You slam it down, it pushes through the onion or whatever, even potatoes.
Right.
Yeah, that's a great tip. Like, that's so helpful, especially for me, because I can't hold the vegetable or the fruit with this hand. It slips in order to slice without, like, almost cutting myself. So we want everyone to be safe. As we wrap this up, I'm going to be back for episode 4.
Maybe in the same clothes.
Maybe in the same clothes, because that's
But
something
it's a
that
whole different day. Just blink your eyes. It will look different.
because we have so many technical issues that when it's finally working, that we just keep going until we can't go anymore.
Seize the day. Seize the day. That's right. Okay.
All right.
And the last thing I'm going to say before you hit stop, Trey, is I encourage everybody, please share this because we want to be able to help as many people as possible. That's our whole goal here, is to
Mhm.
help people feel connected, part of a community.
Yeah.
So we're sending you hugs.
Yes, absolutely. Hugs all around. And please, if you watch our videos, keep watching till the end, because that's how the algorithms work, apparently. If you click on one of our videos and then you watch 5 seconds and then you're like, and you keep scrolling, that, like, hurts our page. They don't push it out as far. And we are trying to reach as many survivors and caretakers as we can, just to know that they're not alone. So with that, this is the end of episode 3. We wish you all the best. Bye now.